It's summer and maybe time for a refreshing dip in a cool pool. What would you think about a swim where the water is below freezing? Our speaker, Matthew, will tell you the story about an amazing man who specializes in just that, and about his recent swim in which he had to make a radical change in thinking, a change which saved his life. Matthew believes such a radical change can help you change your life and maybe the world. Please welcome up to present Something in the Water with Matthew Klanowski.
Just a point of order. Is this 6 to 8 minutes or 7 to 9?
This one is 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
Thank you, Marty. I am a left brain thinker. That means math, science, logic, order. And that serves me well most of the time. It helps me not have to rediscover how things work. Rules. I was making this case to a bunch of middle schoolers when I was teaching an English class in Egypt. And I said to them, math rules matter, even in language. For example, 2 negatives make a positive. So if you say, I don't want none, you're really saying, I do want some. And I went, yeah. Well, so what else? Because we don't want none of that. And I said, well, the other side is 2 positives never make a negative. And one kid in the back said, yeah, right. It changed my thinking. Of course, language isn't math. There's sarcasm, and it changes the way we think about words. But Toastmasters and any welcome guests, I want to talk to you today about changing your thinking tactically and radically. Lewis Pugh in 2007 did something no one had ever done before and became world famous. He swam across an open kilometer of water at the North Pole. Before 2007, no one had ever done this. No one could do it because there was no open water at the North Pole. Lewis Pugh went there to raise awareness of the melting of Arctic sea ice and the issues of climate change and global warming. He had a process that he used. He's a famous cold water swimmer. He would put on iPod, listen to tunes, and rev himself up and work his mind into what he called a controlled, furious aggression. He would look into that cold black water, minus 1.7 degrees, and then he jumped in and swam as fast as he could. It took him 18 minutes and 50 seconds to swim a kilometer. And while he was doing it with that music, he had made his mind 100% committed. And Lewis Pugh believes, and I agree, there's nothing more powerful than a human mind made up. He swam it 18 minutes, 50 seconds, he got out, and his hands were what he said had the most pain. His fingers looked like sausages, because in that water, the water in his cells at minus 1.7 degrees actually froze and exploded and broke down cell walls. He decided he was never doing another cold water swim again until this May, when he heard about the melting of glaciers at another famous place, Mount Everest. Lake Imja had been formed by melting glaciers at that iconic place that means remoteness, desolation, coldness, and ultimate achievement. Lewis Pugh took his team there to 5,300 meters at the place where altitude sickness kicks in. And he described it as, while he was there, having a man with a hammer hit you on the back of the head the whole time you're there. He used his normal approach, walked up from base camp to Lake Imja, looked in the water, put on his headphones, played that music that psyched him up, worked himself into that furious, controlled aggression, jumped into the water and swam as hard as he could for 100 meters. Then he realized he had a huge problem. This fantastic cold water swimmer, the world record setter in everything for cold water swimming, was gasping and couldn't breathe. He was choking, and he vomited in the water, and he sank to the bottom of the lake. Fortunately, it wasn't a deep lake, so he was able to jump up to the surface, collect himself with his committed mind 100%, said, I'm going to do this, swam 5 more strokes, and he was finished and sank to the bottom again. With the last bit he had, he jumped to the surface and scrambled to the edge of the lake. They wrapped him up, warmed him up, took him back to base camp. And this is a big operation. He had 30 yaks Sherpa journalist to tell the story of this swim to raise awareness. They debriefed him, and the Sherpas got involved and said, Mr. Pugh, you have to forget everything you know about cold water swimming here. You can't swim the crawl. Your head can't be in the water. You need to swim breaststroke. You can't swim fast. You have to swim as slow as possible. And everything you learned about aggression and its power in the military, you need to put that aside and swim this lake with humility. So 2 days from now, you're going to walk back up there and complete this swim with a different mindset. And he made that radical tactical change, completed the swim. Lewis Pugh said he learned 2 lessons from this, and I want to share those with you. One, no matter what we know that happened and worked in the past, there's no guarantee it will work in the future. And 2, we will all do well in every situation to think, what does my mindset need to be in this situation to succeed? He made those changes and succeeded, brought attention to the global warming, which was his mission. So I want to challenge you on behalf of Lewis Pugh to think, how do you look at the world, yourself, your physical self, your relationships, your hurdles? And what radical, tactical change can you make in your thinking that can push you forward dramatically or get you over a hurdle? Whenever you figure out what that is, make 100% commitment in your mind, and your made-up mind has the power to do anything. And when you've made that commitment, I want you to talk about it, blog about it, tweet about it. Become the message of the change you want to see. There's some people that say global warming isn't even real. There's some people that say climate change and global warming is something we can't fix. Yeah, right. Let's cut this.